This is Zack Violet. Lives in Chicago playing solo and in a band called Dr. Death Crush.
Everything sucks if you wait long enough.
Zack, tell us about yourself. Where are you from, and when and how did you first start playing music?
I definitely first started playing music as a result of being forced to by my parents. That was really cool, but it was more a channeling of my incessant need for attention right out the womb. So like screaming and yelling, singing, gradually singing, and then they just were like, how about some piano lessons? I said, okay. I lived in California for the first part of my life, and the El Cerrito area. It's on the East Bay of the San Francisco sort of area. And the second part of my life I lived in Michigan, in Muskegon and Kalamazoo, and then I moved to Chicago. And it's been great.
What instruments do you play?
I play mostly the human voice and the piano. And I can kind of do the guitar and fake some bass. Did trumpet in high school. So there's a little bit of trumpet on the EP. A teeny little scooch.
Okay, that's
Just
good.
showing off. Just recklessly showing off. When you find that spot with your tongue, one on a swing set of a Houston, and the rain comes down like bullets out of spring, and the distance from the sun, oh, thickening.
Which famous musicians do you admire and why?
Amanda Palmer, because she's a goddamn genius.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jack White because he's also a genius in a very innovative way. And I really, really love Marilyn Manson and Trent Reznor, and I love Skinny Puppy. And I think everybody involved in that sort of a enterprise, you've got to be really innovative. And I like people that are doing really new, kind of weird, crazy things like that. La 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 la. The trigger is in your throat. La la la. The trigger is in your throat. Oh yeah.
What are your fondest musical memories, as in your house or neighborhood?
My fondest musical memories. There was one time I was playing Fairies Wear Boots in Kalamazoo, and I screamed so hard that I passed out, and I like fell over backwards and bit my tongue, and like woke up in the middle of the song, and like my mouth was filling with blood, and Steven was just like looking down with me. And I was like, this is metal as fuck, and I woke up and I like stood up, and I just couldn't like remember who I was or what I was doing, and that was really magical.
Well, my mother was a deadpan snarl. Ever since she's run together, it was like taking a big bite out of your brain. Still, she said, come on down next to me, stop.
What was your first public performance?
I did, You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog with the O's wig on at the age of 3 at my church.
That's great.
Yeah.
How do you handle mistakes during a performance?
During a performance? Absolutely no one knows I made a mistake during a performance. I feel like that's like 90% of being a performer, is like making it look like you totally did that on purpose. So usually, depending on what it is, I'll just do it again, however many times it's necessary, to show that I'm still in control of the situation. If it's egregious enough, I'll definitely call attention to it and make light of it, and then and try to recapture attention after that way. But mostly I'll just ignore it and just pretend like I did do it on purpose.
This is my professor's question. So what advice would you give a young Zack or inexperienced musician today?
I think that the advice that I received that was the most freeing was from a man named Sean P. Diddy Combs. And he said something, I can't exactly remember verbatim what it was, but it was something along the lines of, if you want to be successful, you have to be insane. You have to literally, like, by definition, think outside of what people think is legitimately possible for reality in a space that's not reality with your insane brain, and be that insane and commit to that insanity. I think I could have done that a lot earlier in my life. I played it pretty safe, and I went to theater school, and I was trying to be an actor for a second, and I always knew, like, even all the way through, that, like, everything that I have to do on the earth is coming right out of me, and I really, really know exactly what I want to do. I want to have, this specific quality of attention, and I want to, do these things with my art that I want to do, and that kind of clarity of vision's been really, really, like, nice to kind of, like, inform and motivate myself. So I think trust yourself is what I would tell myself and everybody, because that's where it's all coming from.
What advice would you give to beginners who are nervous?
Well, like, I feel like you gotta respect your anxiety, definitely address it. But, see what it's trying to teach you. I mean, if you're feeling nervous before a performance, what is that? What is your body saying to you? You know what I mean? Usually it's that you gotta get in there. You know what I mean? I think the biggest part of performing is being there. As rudimentary and weird as that sounds, like being in your body, being fully present as much as you can. Mm-hmm. I think that anxiety is just bred of, being freaked out to do that. It's a natural reaction when you have that much, energy that you're working with. That people paying you that much attention, it's like a lot of fucking energy, and you can feel it, So I think just breathing is really good. Slow breathing for nervousness is nice.
What is your most fun original song to play live, and then your favorite cover song?
My favorite cover song is 100% Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine. It's like, I always get naked at the end and just like fucking, saying fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Mm-hmm. Feels really good. So does screaming it over and over again. Yeah. While everybody else is too.
Yeah, that's true. Very
nice feeling. I think that my favorite song to play of my own is it's happy because I love them all so much. They're like my children. But like I think probably Everything Sucks is probably my fave, just because it's ever so new every time, like, because I get to have an improvisatory, like, element to it, like, I do the wang, like, stuff, like, fresh and new, like, try to do a different sort of face solo, face noise solo thing, every time, and I like to surprise myself with that, and that's probably the most fun I have.
Okay.
It's the natural creative element just kind of happening.
What does ing mean? Is that a thing?
It's like a gerund suffix thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, the chorus is find the beauty, it's calming, so like it's just the sort of like transience of everything. It's supposed everything sucks if you wait long enough, right? So it's gonna suck, but it's like if you just relax and just remember that and be somewhere else and kind of identify with a higher, situation than that, it's pretty calming and it's gonna change all the time. And then you go, it's great.
What are Dr. Death Crush's plans for 2018?
Well, we've just filmed all of our footage that we're going to be cobbling together for the rejuvenation of our online EPK at drdeathcrush.com. So that's going to be the next step toward, hello Melly, moving into, applying for grants and, trying to get on the festival circuit and just doing bigger and bigger venues and shows and trying to get on the bandwagon of touring acts that are established. Yeah, mostly those things. We've got a man who's looking to sort of business manage the band and help us formulate a template. He's like, it's funny, he's a literal doctor and he's created because I'm more of an existential doctor. He's created these like businesses around that are actual legitimate like clinics, like specialty clinics. He's just like created like a bunch of these, so he's gonna try to like sort of like that, see if he can help us like, have a business plan. It's really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah. Further, it's just seeking management and lawyership.
What is something you wish I would have asked you?
Whoa. Well, if I'm gonna be honest, it's probably something that a lot of artists that I know don't necessarily feel comfortable asking themselves, which is, like, why are you doing this? And I think it's one of the most important things to do if you're gonna do it as hard as you can, because it's kind of like playing at full capacity is kind of like the point. So, like, yeah, like why music and not, chartered accountancy or, HR at Grubhub or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. How would you answer that?
Well, like, I'm pretty clear about my shit. Like, I'm literally, from every breath of my life, trying to, like, make sure everyone in my immediate vicinity, to the best of my ability, feels the freedom to create their own safety, satisfaction, peace, love, creativity, and basically internal divinity. And I'm doing that with like every project I have. There's a psycho-spiritual component to the Dr. Deathcrush shows where I say that I'm a psychic dominatrix and an existential witch doctor, and I perform free exorcisms for everyone, and that's like literal time and energy that I spend on the figurative concept of, taking people's demonic energy into my own energy field and all this sort of shamanic, sort of ritualistic rites. And I feel like making people at least think that they might feel better is in some way making the possibility of feeling and healing better. And the kind of conversations that it engenders is another thing, and that's another part of being a rock star that nobody really likes to kind of do, that I've been interested in doing ever since I was really super young. It's that you're up there, and the way that I write songs, it's very emotional and deep and very strange, and so you're kind of like in this weird, emotional, vulnerable place that's very demonic energy a lot of the time. It's all very like sex, drugs, and murder, and and people are kind of like coming up to you and they're like, hey, this is how I feel, and this is how you made me feel, and this is what I remember happening to me, and I'm just like, as a rock star, there to be there for it. So that's another one of the reasons why I do it, is to kind of like help people as best I can, with the energy that I'm expended, freak out when they see what I'm doing, and then talk to me about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.